Welcome to Paris and the highlights show bringing you the latest action from the 2024 Paralympic Games. Coming up, speed and strength in the para-athletics at the Stade de France. How victory feels after an epic encounter in para-badminton. And 5 golds meant there'd be memorable moments in track cycling.
Wet conditions at the Stade de France for the first evening session of para-athletics. The track was likely to prove difficult for finalists in the men's 400 metres T52 category. All eyes were on Belgium's Maxime Carabin, who had already enjoyed a remarkable year after setting a new world record. Unsurprisingly, he made a quick start, turning on the power in the back straight, overtaking Ito Tomoya in lane 7 and his Japanese teammate Sato Tomoki in lane 6. Both Ito and Sato, though, were well placed to get among the medals.
Le japonais ainsi que le troisième japonais Ito Tomoya. Et on peut encourager Maxime Carabin qui se rapproche de la ligne d'arrivée, il est à moins de 50 mètres.
Carabin was cruising to victory. Sato crossed the line in second, with Ito third. An amazing performance by Ito at 61 years of age. The gold medal, though, belonged to Maxime Carabin of Belgium, his time 55.1 seconds. Sprayed with rain as he celebrated. The spotlight in the final of the men's 100 metres T47 category was on Patricio Ferreira dos Santos. The Brazilian was aiming for a third successive gold medal in this event. Plenty of contenders to his crown, including fellow Brazilian Washington Jr. and Corbin Best of the United States of America. Best in lane 4 made a terrific start, as did Junior in lane 9. Watch out though for Ferreira dos Santos. He had come through in the final few metres to claim victory. The Brazilian unsure at first whether he had won the gold medal. But once he knew, there was no stopping his celebration. The time for Ferreira dos Santos, 10.68 seconds. His best of the season, just when it mattered. A creditable performance too from the silver medalist Corbin Best. A personal best from the 21-year-old American at his first games. But the glory went to Patricio Ferreira dos Santos of Brazil. The damp weather added to the challenge for finalists in the men's shotput F55 event. Serbia's Nebojša Đurić was focusing hard for his big moment. Each athlete had 6 throws. This throw of 11 metres 98 took Đurić into the lead. He had a long wait to find out whether he would stay ahead of the other 10 competitors. One of the last to go was Rushdie from Bulgaria. A superb effort from Rushdie saw him become the new leader. A distance of 12 metres 40. And that would be enough to earn the Bulgarian the gold medal. 8 years on from his previous victory in this event at Rio 2016.
It means so much for me because this is my first Paralympic game and that was the only title I didn't have already. I'm world champion, I've got a lot of records, I now have the Paralympic records and now I am a Paralympic champion. That means so much to be here for the athletics, to represent Belgium around the globe. So that's mean a lot.
Comemorei muito, né, ao cruzar a linha de chegada.
I'm so grateful because I became 3-time Paralympic champion. I started in Rio 2016 and now I'm here in Paris. It's been 8 years of dedicated career. In fact, it's been 10 years without losing the 100 metres, so it means a lot. There are no words to describe this.
É uma emoção até difícil de descrever.
Brazil and Germany were the last men's teams to take to the sitting volleyball court as they played their opening Pool B games at the North Paris Arena. The South American champions are ranked second in the world, but it was Germany, rated just 3 places lower, who flew out of the blocks, winning the first 7 points before taking the first set, 25-16. The second set was a remarkable contest, with the lead constantly changing. Brazil celebrating when going 6 points clear. But after they missed a set point, the Brazilians then saved 5 from Germany until the Europeans finally converted to win 31-29 and so lead by 2 sets to nothing. The first to 3 sets wins, and a determined Germany, looking for their first medal in this event since London 2012, secured victory after another hard-fought encounter to move second in Pool B. The final game of the day pitched France against Italy in the women's event, meaning that all men's and women's teams in sitting volleyball have now played once. France were making their Paralympic debut, having qualified as hosts, and despite fine support, they could not keep up with Italy, who aced the first set 25-9. The Italians only made their Paralympic debut in Tokyo, but their superiority shone through again. In a second set, they won for the loss of only 6 points. Despite the golfing class, the home support was terrific, reaching fever pitch when France saved the first match point. But the inevitable duly arrived as Italy secured a dominant 3-0 win and top spot in Pool A.
A packed house at the Bercy Arena, and for good reason. The hosts France hoping to start their wheelchair basketball campaign with a win. Their Group A opponents, Canada, gold medalists on 3 occasions. Athens was the last time France qualified, Nicolas Jouanser scoring their first Paralympic points for 20 years. At 45 years of age, Patrick Anderson is the oldest and most decorated of the Canadian team, a 3-time Paralympic champion dating back to Sydney 2000. The veteran showing why he remains one of their most valuable assets. France finished the quarter 6 points down, but rallied in the second. Jouanser leading the way with another shot from distance. The home side behind at the break. The halftime entertainment raised the temperature inside the arena, potentially a few eyebrows.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Moulin Rouge.
Can France win? The most important question. It appeared unlikely after the third quarter. France's 6-point lead turned into a 7-point deficit. Anderson at the heart of Canada's comeback, set up here by Colin Higgins. And France couldn't keep up. Higgins on the break, set up by guess who? Anderson. Higgins scoring 38 on the night. Anderson with a prestigious triple-double with points, rebounds and assists. Canada winning it 83-68.
It's kind of hard to describe. Tokyo was my first Paralympics. Obviously, it was nothing like this, so I've never played in front of a crowd like this, so a lot of goosebumps and butterflies to start, but you know, you come out and you hit your first shot, and everyone really rallies behind each other, and to feel like the team come together and get the W is just huge, so great start.
The United States of America's women's team is the most successful in Paralympic history and went into Paris 2024 hoping to reclaim the title they last won 8 years ago. Germany had revenge in mind, having been beaten by the US in the bronze medal match at Tokyo 2020. The US grabbed the initiative in this Group B game, passing, moving, and finishing all on display. Natalie Schneider with the field goal. Could Germany keep pace? Marika Miller took responsibility. A tight first quarter, but this late basket from Ixelde Gonzalez gave the United States a 6-point cushion. Team USA extended that lead in the second quarter. Becca Murray with the first 3-pointer of the game. A Germany timeout, unable to stem the tide. The US lead of 6 extended to 21 by the break. Excelled Gonzalez with 15 points in the first half. Despite the deficit, German fans were keeping their heads and everything else held high. Their team needed a quick start. They didn't get one. The Americans picking up where they left off through Courtney Ryan. Miller was Team Germany's best hope, and she got their first point of the quarter. But the US players were relentless. Rose Holloman breaking clear and laying up. To have 16 points she scored in the game. A lead of 29 was never going to be overturned in the final quarter. Team USA content to show patience, find passes, and add points on a regular basis. Their campaign underway with an impressive victory by 73 points to 44.
The second night of para swimming finals at La Défense Arena began with a chance for Francesco Bocciado of Italy to win his second gold medal of Paris 2024. After winning the 200 metres freestyle S5, he was defending his 100 metres title. But like the rest of the field, he struggled to match the blistering pace set by Guo Qincheng of the People's Republic of China. Only one swimmer could challenge, and in the closing stages, the world champion Alexander Komarov of Ukraine powered past Guo to take the gold and set a new Paralympic record time of 1 minute 7.77 seconds. Bocciado finished down in fourth. In the 200 metres individual medley SM6 class, Nelson Crispin Corzo of Colombia was defending the title he won at Tokyo 2020. But the man to beat was Yang Hong of the People's Republic of China. The world record holder only finished fourth in this event at the last Paralympic Games, but he timed his swim perfectly here, coming through on the breaststroke leg before holding off Crispin's challenge in the freestyle to touch first and break his own world record. Yang Hong's winning time, 2 minutes 37.31 seconds. The lineup for the final of the 100 metres breaststroke SB9 included Tokyo 2020 gold medalist Stefano Raimondi, but the noise in the arena was reserved for one man, Hector Denier of France. But the Italian wasn't overawed. Raimondi went out strongly, and his lead was enough to withstand Denier's fast finish. Maurice Vetterkamp of Germany took the bronze. In the S13 100 metres backstroke, Ihar Boki's bid for an 18th Paralympic gold was under threat from another neutral Paralympic athlete, Vladimir Sotnikov. Boki's first 50 metres was fast, and he really moved away from his main challenger with a superb turn. No world record, but Boki retained his title, and there was a popular bronze for France's Alex Portard. The 100 metres breaststroke in the SB8 class has been dominated by Andrei Kalina, who first won the title at Athens 2004. Among his rivals was Colombia's Carlos Serrano Zarate, who was an SB7 swimmer, so he was competing in a tougher classification. No one could challenge Kalina, who took gold in this event for the 5th time. Yang Guanlong of the People's Republic of China was second, but Serrano Zarate took an impressive bronze medal. The 400 metres freestyle S11 final for visually impaired swimmers saw Rogier Dorsman of the Netherlands hoping to defend his title. And for the first half of the race, he was well on course. But in the closing stages, he was caught and then overtaken by David Kratochvil of Czechia, who pulled clear to take gold by 5 seconds. His winning time was a new European Paralympic record. Suzuki Takayuki was hoping for a second title at Paris 2024 when he defended his 100 metres freestyle S4 title.
The Japanese swimmer had already taken gold in the SP3 50 metres breaststroke. He had to contend with Ami Omir Dadon of Israel, who had smashed the Paralympic record in the heats. And Dadon charged into a huge lead in the first length of the pool, and although he slipped off world record pace in the second 50, the Israeli had done enough to take Suzuki's title. He had to settle for silver.
I am really happy because I hope so that I put there everything, and suddenly I am Paralympic winner, and this is amazing. This is my dream, life dream, and now it's here.
This race was the most important for me because I wanted for 3 all years. I waited for it a lot, and it was very important for me. I just wanted to represent my people with honor, to put my flag on the cup. Is everything for me.
After both winning their opening match, this was a meeting of the top 2 sides in Pool D as Canada faced Japan. Canada beat France 10-0 in their first game. Emma Renke scored 6 of them, and it didn't take her long to find the net once again here. Just one throw needed, and Canada were in front after a matter of seconds. Hagawara Narika scored all 3 of Japan's goals from their first match, and she nearly got her side level at the South Paris Arena. And the post came to Canada's rescue again shortly after, Renke with the initial save to divert the ball onto the goal frame. The Japanese player, though, wouldn't be denied at the 3rd time of asking, and a slight change of angle. Hagawara got her breakthrough and drew Japan level, 1-1 at half-time. A close, even match in which neither side would give anything away. The second half provided the same tense entertainment. Amuro Saki saw her effort tipped around the post and was then required to use every part of her body to keep out Renke, although Amuro did use the goal frame to give her a bit of support. Renke and Hagawara continued to be the game's best 2 attackers, Renke denied by Japan's disciplined defence, Hagawara denied by the post, again. And with time ticking away, it felt like a draw was inevitable, until a moment of brilliance from Hagawara saw her finally find a way past Canada with just over a minute remaining. A second goal for her led to a second win for Japan. 3 years ago in Tokyo, Japan won the bronze medal. Based on their first 2 matches here, they'll be optimistic they can go all the way this time around.
First of all, I really appreciate the staff and the organisation for the great atmosphere of these Paralympic Games. In the game we got the first score, so we tried to protect the lead. We continue to do this and scored again, giving us the win, and I'm very happy.
Ukraine were looking for their second victory in Pool B as the men's goalball competition continued at South Paris Arena. European champions had beaten Egypt in their opening fixture, while opponents Japan lost their first match 7-6 against the People's Republic of China. First goal of this game was scored in less than 10 seconds. Rodion Zielin with the shots which made it 1-0 to Ukraine. The same player soon doubled their lead before teammate Vasil Olyanik added a third. It all looked very comfortable for Ukraine and their coach Fedir Dubrovin. Japan needed a quick response, and it came via the introduction of substitute Miyajiki Koji. That was his 4th goal in the space of 3 minutes. Now it was Japan's Kudo Riika who was the happier coach. Ukraine levelled the score at 4-4 before this goal from Sano Yuto gave Japan a narrow advantage at half-time. But as the second half unfolded, Ukraine worked themselves into a match-winning position. And when Olyanik scored his 5th goal, the gap between the teams was now 2. Japan did score the final goal, but as the clock ticked towards 0, they knew they'd been narrowly beaten for the second game in a row. It's 2 wins from 2 now for the European champions. After this game ended Japan 8, Ukraine 9.
There are 2 disciplines in paracycling, road and track. Road races include bicycles, hand cycles, tricycles and tandems. Track events include only bicycles and tandems. Athletes race against others whose impairments have a similar impact on their ability to cycle. There are 5 sport classes for standard cycling competitions, with the numbers indicating the impact of the impairment on the ability to ride. Hand cycling also has 5 classes, where lower numbers indicate limitation in both upper and lower limbs, and higher numbers mean limitation in lower limbs only. The 2 classes in tricycle races are for athletes with balance and coordination impairments. Cyclists with a vision impairment race tandem with a sighted pilot in front. Nothing stops them from beating the clock or other riders. Road cycling events include individual time trials or races and mixed-gender team relays. On the track, they sprint as fast as they can around the velodrome in individual or mixed team events. Or in pursuit, where riders start at opposite sides of the track and race to overtake each other or cross the finish line first. Endurance, explosive speed and tactics are key to being at the top of the podium.
Day 2 of the paracycling at the National Velodrome began with the men's C4 and C5 1,000 metre time trial. Tokyo 2020 gold medalist Alfonso Cabello of Spain laid down a marker with his run, the 4th of the 6 finalists to go, setting the fastest time and guaranteeing himself a medal. Blaine Hunt of Great Britain began his run in a lower gear and was down on Cabello from the early laps. But the Briton brought it back on his final tour to lead the standings with 1 runner to go. That was Corey Boddington of Australia, and his sensational run was the best of all, securing his first Paralympics medal and a gold one at that. In the women's C4 3,000 metre individual pursuit, Tokyo defending gold medalist Emily Petricola of Australia posted the fastest time in qualifying, breaking her own world record in the process. Her team clearly in party mood after such an impressive run. New Zealand's Anna Taylor was second fastest and also progressed to the big race. Keely Shaw of Canada and the USA's Samantha Bosco contested the bronze medal final. The American led the early laps, but the Canadian was too strong and powered home to secure the bronze. To the gold medal race between 5-time world champion Petricola and 2023 Omnium world champion Taylor. The Australian dominated in the race, catching her opponent in the final 500 metres. Petricola with another Paralympic gold and able to celebrate with her family. To the men's C2 class over the same distance, where Great Britain's Matthew Robertson had qualified 3rd fastest and contested the bronze medal race. His opponent, Kawamoto Shota of Japan. 25-year-old Robertson rode a controlled race over the 3,000 metres and was too strong for his fellow C2 rider Kawamoto, securing another medal to add to his World Championship Omnium bronze. The final featured Alexandre Lotte of France, the defending Paralympic and current world champion, and Belgium's Édouard Vremont, the 2020 world champion. The Frenchman led from the start, roared through every bend by the home support. The Belgian rider kept in contact, but was never able to claw back the initial deficit. Lotte securing his 2nd Paralympic gold medal to the delight of the French National Velodrome crowd. In the men's C3 3,000 metre individual pursuit, Tokyo 2020 finalists Finn Graham and Jaco van Haas were set for a repeat meeting in the gold medal race. Best of the rest was Eduardo Santos of Spain, who contested for the bronze against Alexandre Haywood of Canada. Haywood flew out of the blocks, pushing hard over the first 2,000 metres. Any Spanish hopes that the Canadian rider might falter in the final laps were dashed. Haywood with an incredible performance to secure the bronze. So a touch of Tokyo déjà vu for British fans in the final. But any hopes of redemption for Graham were soon dashed as the experienced Van Haas showed his class. Back-to-back Paralympic gold medals for Van Haas and a 2nd silver for Graham. A fitting final from 2 men who've come to dominate this discipline. More British interest in the women's B1000 metre time trial, where Great Britain's Sophie Unwin and Lizzie Jordan qualified for the finals, as did Australia's Jessica Gallagher. Unwin's final run put her top of the timing tables with 2 riders to go, and then Gallagher leapfrogged her into first place. Jordan was the final rider, and she showed exactly why she was a winner over 3 disciplines, including this one at this year's World Championships. So Gallagher and pilot Caitlin Ward of Australia with the silver, but double medals for Great Britain, bronze for Unwin and pilot Jenny Hull, and gold for Jordan, along with her co-rider Danny Kahn.
I absolutely love the mascot, and the medal is it's absolutely beautiful. To think that's a piece of the Eiffel Tower, it's just amazing. We have 2 of the best riders in the world. Finn pushes me to the limits and I push him to the limits, and you know, it's into rivalry and a healthy friendship to try to be the best.
I can't believe it. I feel really lucky to be in this position. Everyone that I race, they're so strong, so there was no guarantee today. I've had a really tough 3 years, and in particular last 8 weeks. It does not matter what your form is, you still have to go out and do it at the end of the day, and I feel really lucky that I was able to do that today, and especially with people in the stands cheering for me from home.
Inside the Grand Palais, the para-taekwondo competition continued. Places in the gold medal contests were available. The top seed in the men's under 63 kilo category, Mahmoud Bozteke, took on reigning Paralympic champion, Brazil's Nathan Torquato. This awkward landing caused a delay to the contest, as Bozteke was checked by the medical staff. But the Turk was able to continue. Then, with the scores level and 36 seconds remaining, it was Torquato who went to the floor. Every time an athlete goes to ground, a gamjom, or penalty point, is awarded against them. That meant Bozteke led 7 points to 6. That quickly became 10-6 when Bozteke made contact with this kick to send the Brazilian down once more. After winning a bronze medal in Tokyo, Bozteke was through to the gold medal match in Paris. Brazil fans also had an athlete to cheer in the women's under 57 kilo category. Silvana Cardoso Fernandez is a 2-time world champion. Her opponent in the semi-final was the 5th seed, Li Yuji from the People's Republic of China. She became the first taekwondo athlete representing China to win a Paralympic medal 3 years ago. And she'll better that here in Paris after leading from the start to win her semi-final contest 17-13. Azerbaijan have already had medal success at these games, with Sabir Zenailov winning bronze in the men's under 58 kilo category. His compatriot, Imamadine Khalilov, in the blue, was looking for even more success as he tried to book his place in the gold medal match in the men's under 70 kilo category against Uzbekistan's Javakir Alikulov. Those early points for Alikulov were to be the only points he scored. The reigning world champion went on to win 7 points to 2. The lineup for the medal contests is taking shape.
In the para-badminton, there's falling match was in store in the women's WH1 category, as Switzerland's Cynthia Matez met Ying Men Lu from the People's Republic of China. Yin won bronze at Tokyo 2020 and he's aiming to be in medal contention yet again at Paris 2024. And an epic rally in the first game went her way, as she opened up a lead over the Swiss, which was extended to 11 points before this delicate stroke ensured Yin took the first game 21-9. The second game was a closer affair. Another good rally here, won by Matez, put her 3 ahead at the break.
11-8 interval.
But once Yin won this point to go ahead, she took control, winning the next 8 points to take the match and book herself a spot in the quarter-final. Men's singles SU5 saw Malaysia's Mohamed Anwar up against Deva Amrimusti from Indonesia.
Deva Amrimusti.
Both players had won their opening matches and were already looking forward to the semi-finals. In a high-quality match, Amrimusti in red and blue had the upper hand. This point here showing the power on display as he took the first game. This was a match of rallies. Anwar took this one, leaving the Indonesian no chance of a return. Neither player was ever more than a couple of points ahead, and this game went to the wire. Anwar levelling it up at 1 game all. The game now into its second hour, and still nothing to separate the two players. Amrimusti edged ahead thanks to this subtle stroke. But after such skill, it was a mistake that let Anwar in. Amrimusti into the net to give the Malaysian a chance at match point.
20, match point.
Yet another amazing rally. Amrimusti into the net again to hand Anwar the victory. An extraordinary game lasting nearly 75 minutes. The crowd showed their appreciation for an absolute classic. In the men's singles WH1, world number 1 Choi Jungman from the Republic of Korea took on Nagashima Osamu from Japan. Nagashima lost his opening match, but Choi, the world champion runner-up, didn't waste time in racking up a lead. 11-6 at the break, and the Korean looking good.
11-6.
His power and accuracy was too much for Nagashima, and he took the first game 21-11.
Game.
The second game went the same way. Again, Choi's returns, forcing Nagashima into mistakes, and a 5-point lead at the interval. This fantastic finish by Choi secured the win. A comfortable victory. The Korean will be in medal contention at Paris 2024.
Three Brazilians were in the starting lineup for the men's 100 metres T37 final at the Stade de France. Ricardo Gomes de Mendonça was one of them, and he came into the race with some great form. Out of the blocks, he was pushed all the way by Indonesia's Sabtoyogo Purnomo, with Andre Vrodkin appearing as a neutral Paralympic athlete, claiming bronze. A season's best for the Brazilian and the Paralympic gold medal, with the silver going to Purnomo. Wen Xiaoyan of the People's Republic of China was out to defend her Paralympic Games title in the women's 200 metres T37. And she did it in style, leading from the front in a new Paralympics Games record of 25.86, her 4th Paralympic gold medal. Ukraine's Natalie Kobzar took silver, and Chinese sprinter Jiang Fenfen with the bronze. 16 athletes were in the final of the women's F32 club throw, where the aim is to throw a wooden club as far as possible with 6 attempts. Poland's Rosa Kozakowska has dominated this event over the last few years. She's the world and Paralympic champion and record holder. She threw a massive opening throw of 31 metres 30 to set a new world record, but injured her shoulder in the process and was unable to finish all her attempts. But what a target she set for the rest. Tunisia's Maroua Ibrahimi produced her best on her last attempt with a throw of 29 metres to go into second place. With a personal best of 26.29 metres from the Islamic Republic of Iran's Parastu Habibi. So it was gold to Kozakowska, silver for Ibrahimi and bronze to Habibi. There was a strong trio from the People's Republic of China in the men's T11 long jump, including the gold medalist from Tokyo, Di Dongdong. His third attempt produced a new world record of 6.85 metres. The rest of the field didn't come close. Teammate Cheng Shi-yang was nearest with 6.50 to take the silver, with Joan Munar Martinez of Spain taking the bronze.
Wheelchair tennis requires dynamic movement, tactics and incredible racket skills. The aim is to keep hitting the tennis ball over the net into the opponent's court until they're unable to return it. The same tennis courts, rackets and balls and rules are used as the sport's Olympic counterparts. There is one key exception. The ball is allowed to bounce twice and only the first bounce must be within the court's limits. The ball is hit with power, precision and tactics, making it difficult to return. Matches are the best of 3 tie-break sets. The first player to reach 6 games by a margin of 2 wins the set. At 6 games all, a tie-break is played. Wheelchair tennis has 2 sport classes, Open Division and Quad Division. In the Open Division, athletes have permanent impairment in one or both legs, but are not affected in their upper body. Men and women play singles and doubles in separate draws in the Open Division. The Quad Division is for players with upper limb impairment in addition to lower limb impairment. Here, mixed gender singles and doubles are played. Players manoeuvre with agility in competition tennis wheelchairs. Game, set, match.
The opening rounds of the wheelchair tennis for the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games continued on the red clay of Roland Garros. There was women's doubles action on court Suzanne Lenglen. Abby Breakwell and Lucy Schucker of Great Britain faced Ginter Bos and Lizzie de Groot of the Netherlands. Only Schucker had previous Paralympic experience, having first played back in Beijing 2008. But it was the Dutch debutantes Bos and de Groot who dominated. Combining well, they showed impressive court awareness to open out a commanding first-set lead. They duly closed out 6-2, a slick cross-court winner from Bos on the set point. The British pair were closer in the second set. Schucker drawing on all of her experience and proving clinical at the net. A wayward forehand from the British on match point, giving their opponents a 6-2, 6-4 win.
Game, set a mark. Bos de Groot.
In the men's singles, Great British teenager Ben Bartram faced French favourite Guillaume Laget. Both players struggled on serve in the first set, but Bartram dominated on the key points. He took it 6-4. And the second by the same margin to book his place in the second round.
Set match, Bartram.
Staying in the men's single draw and with another home hope for the crowd to cheer for, it was youth against experience, as 20-year-old Martin Terhoff of the Netherlands faced 4-time Paralympian Frédéric Cattaneo of France. The Frenchman edged ahead in the first set. A superb slice backhand saw him set up break point in the 5th game, and he duly converted it. Having taken the first set 6-4, Cattaneo continued to dominate. Playing the key points well, he was always in the ascendancy. A cross-court forehand saw him set up a second match point. Terhoff showed some impressive play of his own, producing a powerful forehand winner to save it. But that resistance couldn't last, and the Dutch player put a backhand long on the third match point. A 6-4, 6-2 win for Cattaneo, and with it, a place in the second round.
You have to know that in a wheelchair you can play for a long time. I'm 45. I'm one of the oldest on the court, but I love tennis. I love my sport. It's a passion. It's my job. And as long as I don't have any injuries, as long as I still have the desire to play, well, I will continue, and I hope to be in Los Angeles in 2028.
The third final of the day at the Châteauroux Shooting Centre was the mixed 10-metre air rifle standing SH2. Frenchman Tanguy de la Forêt had his sights set on a place at the top of the podium. The 46-year-old had never won a Paralympic medal since his debut in 2004 and arrived as the reigning world champion. After the opening rounds, the format turned into an elimination, a shooter exiting after every 2 shots.
Stop and load.
Serbian Dejan Djokic was the first shooter to depart. He was followed by South Korea's Park Dong-gan, Italy's Roberto Lazzaro and New Zealand's Michael Johnson. With only 0.8 points separating the top 4, the contest was extremely close. Ukraine's Vitaly Plakushi, despite shooting a score of 10.7, didn't have enough to progress to the final 3, where the medals would be decided.
So let's make some noise, Paris 2024.
A 10.8 for de la Forêt just when he needed it. South Korea's Seo Hunte with a 10.7, but not enough to progress. He secured the bronze medal. Serbia's Francek Gorad Tercek at this stage was 0.2 points ahead of de la Forêt. So it all came down to the final shot. 10.5 for the Frenchman, but 10.1 for Tercek, enough for a Paralympic record and the gold. For de la Forêt, finally a Paralympic medal at the 6th time of asking in front of a home crowd here in Paris.
Both Germany and Canada came into their second wheelchair rugby matches, having tasted defeat in their Group A openers. With only 2 of the 4 teams in the group qualifying for the semi-finals, the pressure was on for both Germany in gold and Canada in black and red to claim the 2 points for a win at the Champ de Mars Arena.
And number 33,
It was Germany who won the tip-off. Marco Herbst weaved his way through the gaps to cross the try line for the first score of the game. Before some pinpoint long passing allowed Canada to establish a 13-12 lead at the end of the first period. Canada, 3 times Paralympic medalists in the sport, exploited the spaces available to them. Anthony Letourneau sped over the try line to extend his team's lead before half-time. The German fans were not giving up on their team though, and Stefan Wecker broke clear to delight the crowd with his try. Yet Canada always seemed to be able to find a response. They continued to restrict Germany's chances throughout the 4th period, seeing out the clock to seal the win. Germany 47, Canada 54 was the final score, as the Canadian team ignited their hopes of advancing from Group A.
Wheelchair rugby at the Champ de Mars Arena and a Pool B match featuring host France versus world champions Australia. In the first round of matches, the French had beaten Denmark, whereas Australia, also known as the Steelers, had lost to defending champions Great Britain. And it was the team in green and gold that won the tip-off, captain Chris Bond with the first try of the match. Turnovers are key to the game, and Australia forced several in the opening quarter. This one for a technical violation known as an over and back, whereby a player in the opposing half moves, or is moved, backwards over the halfway line. The resultant try by team talisman Riley Batt putting France 2 scores behind. More violations saw the French reduced to just 2 on-court players at one point. Australia taking full advantage and going into the first break with a 16-12 lead. France, roared on by the home crowd, fought back, a rare error by Batt gifting them a turnover, which helped cut the deficit. Some stout defence by Jonathan Irvanau forced a mistake from Batt, who hit the cone before trying to cross the try line. France scored on the subsequent play. It was still a 1-point game as the third quarter began. However, Australia had possession from the off, and their first try opened the gap up again. French hope were revived after another turnover try in the fourth quarter. Sébastien Verdun with the steal. But the world champions are experts at game management, and with ball in hand, they ran the clock down. With mere seconds left in the game, Chris Bond rolled over for the final try, securing a much-needed win for the Steelers. It finished Australia 55, France 53.
It was an emotional night in the women's para-swimming finals at La Défense Stadium. In the SB9 100-metre breaststroke, Dutch favourite Chantal Zadeveld surged to the front of the field, becoming Paralympic champion for the second time in this race. She gave a send-off to her retiring friend and competitor Daniela Jimenez of Argentina, a celebratory piggyback around the pool. The United States of America's Gia Pergolini was the favourite in the S13 100-metre backstroke. And she delivered a predictably stellar performance just outside her own world record at 1 minute 4:93, enough to earn a second consecutive backstroke gold medal. An upset in the SB8 100-metre breaststroke. World record holder Brock Whiston of Great Britain looked poised to take the win. But she couldn't close in on Spain's Anastasia Dimitriv, who sped into the gold medal spot. The final of the mixed 4x50-metre freestyle relay 20 points. Male and female athletes from different classes matched up. Ukraine had an incredible first lap, pulling well ahead of the field. But the People's Republic of China touched first at the second length. And the Chinese sped into the gold medal spot, smashing the world record with a time of 2 minutes 14:98. Heavy hitters matched up in the 100-metre freestyle S5. Irina Poida of Ukraine, who recorded a fast time in her heat, met world record holder Tully Kearney of Great Britain. The Ukrainian swimmer had a quick stroke over the first 50 metres, but Kearney overtook her in the turn and pulled away with a strong second length, defending her Paralympic title. In the S11 400-metre freestyle race, Lisette Brinsma from the Netherlands won by a body length and celebrated upgrading her Tokyo 2020 Paralympic silver medal to a gold in Paris. Great Britain's Maisie Summers-Newton looked to secure her second Paralympic title in the SM6 200-metre individual medley against United States of America's Ellie Marks on the hunt for her first medal in this event. Summers-Newton had a strong start ahead in the butterfly, The British swimmer's skill in breaststroke was on show and she pulled away from the field, extending her lead in the final length to take the win. A second Paralympic gold for Maisie Summers-Newton in this event.
I hope that I can inspire other people to do what you like and to fight with your challenges. What the challenges are doesn't matter. So everyone has their own challenge, and how big or small it is, if it's your challenge and if you overwin that, that's important.
Just incredible, you know. I know it takes a lot to get one Paralympic gold medal, but to defend that in the space of 3 years, I think is really special, and I think it just shows the hard work I've put in over the past 3 years. You know, the time was only a second off my PB, but I think when you come to a Paralympic Games, you know, mainly about the medals. You want to win those medals for Paralympics GB and myself.
Para-table tennis has been part of every Paralympic Games since the first Games in Rome 1960. Rallies are fast and explosive. Players need to react quickly as smashes can exceed 100 kilometres per hour. The goal is to use a bat to hit the ball over the net into the opponent's side without return. For the points to be won, the ball that bounces twice should be on the other side of the table. Matches are the best of 5 games. The first to score 11 points by at least 2 clear points wins a game. The play begins with a serve. The ball must bounce on the service side of the net and over to the opponent. Athletes use several forehand and backhand shots in the attack or defence. Para-table tennis athletes are grouped into 11 sport classes. They play either in a wheelchair or standing, depending on what class they're in, and compete in men's or women's singles, doubles or mixed doubles competitions. They can adapt their playing styles or use equipment such as canes. One thing's for sure, they don't take their eyes off the ball. The right spin or reaction can decide the winner. An expectant South Paris arena welcomed the players for the medal matches in the para-table tennis. First up, reigning singles champion from Tokyo, Abdullah Öztürk and his partner Nesim Turan from Turkey. They faced the reigning singles champion in his classification, Valentin Bouts, and teammate Thomas Schmidberger of Germany. With a place in the final at stake, there were some impressive rallies. Taking the match all the way to a 5th and final game. Germany eventually triumphed. They would go on to play for gold. The French pairing of Fabienne Lamiraud and Julien Michaud got a warm Paris welcome as they lined up in their semi-final in the MD4 category. Their opponents Jang Yong-jin and Park Sung-ju of the Republic of Korea. The Koreans look to have clear tactics in operation. Jang Yong-jin on the left, covering the majority of the table. The home crowd were at fever pitch by match point, willing their players on in the hope of a comeback. But it wasn't to be. The Koreans' tactics and game plan saw them go through. They would face Slovakia in the final. Thailand, wearing pink, faced the might of the People's Republic of China in the second semi-final of the MD8 category. The Chinese pairing of Cao Ningning and Feng Pangfeng both had numerous singles Paralympic titles to their names. Thailand were unfazed and took the first game 11-8. This was a tight match, and at 2 games all, both coaches were animated heading into the decider. A characteristically long rally at match point, ended in victory for the People's Republic of China, on course for the final with a chance for gold. The first final in para-table tennis at Paris 2024 was in the women's doubles, Germany against the People's Republic of China for gold. The German pairing of Stefanie Grebe and Julianne Wolf were no strangers to Paralympic finals. In contrast, 16-year-old Jinyu Cheng of China, seen here on the left, was competing in her first games. The match was predictably tight. In the fifth and final game, an error in return by Jin lost them their first match point. In the end, all it took was one serve and one return. Wang Wenjian and Jinyu Chen were Paralympic champions, taking the match by 3 games to 1.
In the para-archery at Les Invalides, the men's individual compound open elimination rounds got underway. The wet and breezy weather made for tricky conditions as the archers battled in head-to-head contests over 5 ends of 3 arrows each, aiming for the centre of a target at a 50-metre distance.
A 9 and a 9.
A strong fifth end from Indonesia's Ken Swagumilang led him to a narrow victory over Patrick French of Australia. Representing India, Rakesh Kumar showed none of the pressure of being number 1 in the world rankings. He ignored the driving rain, securing his passage to the next round with a winning margin of 5 points. Austria's Michael Mayer also advanced with an impressive win, recording a mark of 142 points from a possible 150. Matt Stutzman of the United States of America has hinted that this may be his 4th and final Paralympic Games appearance. An excellent first end saw him on his way to a place in the next round at Paris 2024. Joining him there will be Australian Jonathan Milne. He was on for a perfect score after 4 ends of the 5. He fell just short, but still shot the day's best score with 147. A mark of 142 was enough for Malaysia's Daneshen Govindarajan to put plenty of pressure on his opponent. But defending champion He Zhihao of the People's Republic of China edged through on 144 points.
9.
As the evening skies darkened at Les Invalides, French athlete Maxime Guérin held his nerve to progress from the last contest of the day, securing his place in the last 16 of the men's individual compound open competition.